Okay, so it seems that the internet is literally on fire right now. It was revealed yesterday that Bungie laid off a bunch of its employees and that the final Shape expansion has been delayed. Basically, everything has been delayed. The final Shape, the Destiny 2 episodes that were going to be replacing the seasons, and Marathon. If it isn't clear, I think something big is going down at Bungie, and I'm worried that this is just the tip of some iceberg that's being orchestrated by Sony. So, community support team members, community managers, HR department, the list goes on of staff members and employees that were let go. Even Michael Salvatore, the composer of the Destiny soundtrack, was also laid off. And that's a big one. How do you justify that? What has happened that you have to get rid of your composer? I just don't understand this one. This one has left me absolutely scratching my head. What has happened that you have to go after the composer? So I learned about all of this from a tweet that was citing Jason Schreier's article on Bloomberg. It went out yesterday around noon and then was later updated about 4:30 that afternoon. The tweet said, Bungie laid off an undisclosed number of staff today, part of ongoing job cuts across PlayStation. The company recently delayed the upcoming Destiny 2 expansion, The Final Shape, to June 2024, and the new game Marathon to 2025, sources tell Bloomberg. Now, this is the article that was published on Bloomberg. Bungie, the Sony-owned game studio behind Destiny 2, let go of an undisclosed number of staffers, part of a wider restructuring of the Japanese giant's video game operation. Quote, today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio, says Bungie Chief Executive Officer Pete Parsons on X, formerly known as Twitter. He tweeted this out. So Bungie recently delayed an upcoming Destiny 2 expansion, The Final Shape, until June from February, pushing it out of Sony Group Corp's current fiscal year. According to people familiar with the matter who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak publicly, Bungie's next game, Marathon, slipped to 2025. Sony, which purchased Bungie in early 2022 for $3.6 billion, has been cutting staff across its PlayStation division this year, in part due to delays. The unit lost several key producers this year, and PlayStation boss Jim Ryan said last month that he will retire in March. In a note to investors, TD Cowen analyst Doug Kreutz wrote that events over the last few days lead us to believe that PlayStation is undergoing a restructuring. Thousands of video game workers have been let go in 2023 so far as companies look to cut costs, even after a year full of hits. Last month, Epic Games cut around 900 staff. In an earlier email to employees seen by Bloomberg, Parsons said staffers would be hearing some news today and that there would be a team meeting later in the day to discuss today's events. There has been a lot of stuff going on, it seems, behind the scenes with Sony this year. And of course, these layoffs do contradict the announcement that went out after the acquisition of Bungie, saying that there wouldn't be any layoffs. Yeah, that really aged well. Reading over the Bloomberg article, it says that the layoffs are because of delays. Now, maybe Bungie just hasn't had the time to make these official announcements. Maybe, I don't know how long they knew these delays were coming. But the order of execution here is just very suspicious. We're seeing the layoffs, and we've yet to have an official tweet, an official message, anything that says that the Final Shape is being delayed. So far, the only information that we have about the delays has come from these other sources and not even from Bungie themselves. Honestly, I wasn't even aware that there were delays until this article dropped like a meteor from orbit. But obviously, Sony must know something that we don't, and I'm still not entirely convinced that this isn't just Sony, being Sony. So what do these delays mean in the broad scheme of things? Well, in all truth, it isn't as if we haven't had delays before. The Witch Queen was delayed from 2021 to early 2022. Though we were still sort of in pandemic mode. So that may have had something to do with it. Still, having a delay this close to launch with no announcement is a little odd. Like I said, maybe there were planned announcements coming. It could be that everyone woke up Monday morning, saw the delays were inevitable, and a round of layoffs ensued. I highly doubt that it went down that way. I think someone knew something a long time ago about this, and as usual, the fans were the last ones to get the memo. One thing is for sure, this is going to extend season 23 by several months, potentially making it the longest season in Destiny since the season of the Lost, which ran 181 days and lasted from August 2021 to February 2022. This is also going to throw the roadmap for the episodes completely out of whack, unless there's some kind of contingency plan, which I doubt at this point. Those shiny episodes that were all set to replace the seasons are going to be all manner of effed up, and I have no clue if there will be any additional content next season while we wait on the expansion. At 7 months, we could be in for one of the longest content droughts in Destiny 2 history. So how bad is this going to hurt the franchise? I think the Destiny fans are going to see this through, the dedicated fans at least, because, well, we always do. However, Bungie has only barely managed to drag its reputation back out of the mud this year. And I can only wonder what this is going to do for those fans that have just started to put their faith back into the company. This could mean for a great many Destiny 2 players, this could mean the last expansion for them, and then they're done. This could literally be the end. There may not be any Destiny 2 moving forward for some of these fans after all of this. As for Marathon, I can't even say. It's always been on the horizon, so I doubt that this is going to impact too much. I didn't really anticipate that coming out until either way late 2024 or early 2025 anyway. Of course, fan loyalty is what Bungie definitely needs, and without it, I think Marathon may not stick its landing. I mean, if all the fans are too skeptical to play it, if all of the fans have felt as if they've been burned too great by Bungie, and especially Sony at this point, yeah, they may not want to play it. And that could have something of a snowball effect later on. With all of the positivity that's been going around the online community and the interaction with the developers recently, and even Joe Blackburn, I was really confident that we were all in a pretty good place. But this is definitely, I would say, this is definitely a dark time. Not only for the fans of the game, but most importantly for the employees that got fired. Many, I bet, without any warning whatsoever. It's a terrible thing to get walking papers when you've been with a company for a lot of years. And I wouldn't be making YouTube content myself if I hadn't been the victim of corporate downsizing once upon a time. So I'm hoping that as the fires dwindle, we get some clarification on all of this. But for now, we're just going to have to wait and see how all of this crap comes landing down from the fan blades, because it is a crap show. To say the least, this is a crap show. So yes, this is definitely not a video that I saw myself making. It's definitely not one that I want to make, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. I feel like a lot of this has Sony fingerprints all over it. I mean, we obviously want to blame Bungie here, but I feel like a good 90% of this rests entirely in Sony's hands. And I'm just not in a good place with Sony right now. And I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to be after this. So what are your thoughts on the Bungie Dark Monday? Let me know about it in the comments down below. Try to be as respectful as you can. I realize that this is going to be the final straw for a lot of fans in the community, but we still want to try to maintain some level of decorum here. So put your comments in the comment section down below, guys. And of course, while you're down there, it would be great if you could help this video out, get it pushed along in the recommended feeds by liking. And of course, if you're new and you want to see more content, more discussion videos, and some live streams, then consider subscribing, and you can catch me doing all that other content as well while I cringe everyone out with the Catgirl. So have a great day, everyone. Chin up, and I will see you all in the next video.